saw the news yesterday that a former teammate and Hall of Fame player and coach were wrapped up in the allegations that they were. What was your reaction to that? And sort of how big of a problem do you think, or how big a challenge is it, the integrity issues right now for the NBA?
I'm not completely sure what's going on, but definitely as my job as vice president in the union is to get to the bottom of it and kind of figure it out. I know some of those guys personally. Obviously, Terry played here. It's not conducive of his character, but we'll get to the bottom of it as a union and figure out what the next steps forward is.
What does that process look like for you as a vice president? Like, what are kind of your next steps?
They have like a crisis management team, and they also have like investigative people on our side to get to the bottom of whatever the situation is and kind of go from there. Obviously, if those guys are innocent, it's not a great look for them publicly and media-wise, so we got to make sure if they are, that they're exonerated and their images are cleaned up. But I think right now just kind of getting all the information, getting to the bottom of it is the most important thing.
From a personal perspective, as someone who played with Terry, just what was your reaction to yesterday's news?
I guess it was kind of crazy, kind of seeing all the stuff going on. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's real and what's not online on the internet because there's so much misinformation. So I didn't really have no reaction. I guess we'll get to the bottom of it and see what's what. Until then, everything is yet to be determined.
What's your personal feeling about the gambling climate around sports? Like, what are your feelings just around, that?
Me personally, I think, that whole world was introduced a couple years ago, and I don't think they took players into consideration, especially with, the energy and the behavior that goes around, gambling and how that directly correlates with players. We don't benefit from any of the profits or anything like that, but we got to deal with, a lot of the extra negativity and scrutiny behind all the gambling stuff. And then on top of that, it creates more integrity issues, et cetera. So I'm not sure what the answer is going forward, but, definitely something that people got to spend more time having conversations about.
Anthony was saying that sometimes it puts you guys in a tough spot because people are asking you guys questions and it's like you don't necessarily know what to do with that. Is that something that you feel like the league could have done a better job as far as preparing players for like those kind of scenarios?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot more could have been done to help players or prepare players, but even in the aftermath, I don't think little care or attention to detail goes into it. They're like, you make X amount of money or X, Y, and Z, you should be able to deal with all the extra negativity, the people approaching you about parlays. It creates a negative discourse around the game and players when people have money involved. Obviously, it's a part of it, but definitely, some of the experiences, the fan engagement, the fan interactions that we've had over the years where, fans feel like they can come on the court or, and touch players and things like that is, it's leading to situations that we can avoid if more conversations were had right now.
Is there anything the league can actually do to protect players better in terms of, like, obviously you guys are subjected to stuff on social media and your DMs and stuff, but also in arena?
I think be open to having a conversation. I don't think yet once from my conversations with the union of the NBA has been like, how can we protect players more with the environment? There's been little to no conversation around that. It's all about how can we, a lot of times, how can we increase business and increase revenue? And I'm not sure, if we're having enough conversations, how can, like, what is the aftermath or the consequences some of that stuff has.
Final couple questions for Jaylen.
Does it affect this game tonight at all?
What do you mean? What?
The conversation around it.
I'm not sure.
The gambling does it affect you guys on the floor?
From a basketball standpoint?
Yeah.
I don't think so. It don't affect me. I don't think so. I just come out. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. You know what I mean? People bet parlays. Don't bet on me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But I don't know how it affects everybody else. I guess that's a personal question.
Being back here, do you have any extra emotion or motivation just considering the season ended on this floor?
Absolutely. Yeah, tonight should be a fun one. Looking forward to coming out and competing. Always a great atmosphere for basketball in New York, so it should be fun.
Thank you, Jaylen.